Hey, church family, thank you for joining us for today's Daily Devotional. We're right in the middle of the week and right in the middle of looking at Christ's commitment to the church and really our commitment to the church and what our commitment to the church, to his church, should look like. And so we're continuing 1 Peter chapter 4, and we're going to be looking in verse 9, a short verse, but a verse that I think has a lot of implications for our life. So verse 9 says, "Be hospitable to one another without complaining." So really two kind of commands there. First is to be hospitable. The second is to do that without complaining. Now, a little context is important for us to have here. As Peter is calling the church to be hospitable, we need to understand that the church at this time didn't have a big, nice building or tons of money, different kind of financial opportunities to go and make people feel welcome and to invite them to a certain space. They had to be hospitable because the church met inside people's homes at this time. They didn't have a location like that. They would meet maybe in Peter's home or in another church member's home, an apostle's home. Whoever's home was available, that's whose home that they met in. And so when Peter says, hey, be hospitable, he's saying, hey, you need to welcome others into your home so that they can be a part of the church. See, they had a good understanding, a doctrine of the church, and that is that the church is not a building. We don't go to church on Sunday. No, we go be the church on Sunday. The church is a group of people who are dedicating their life to God's glory and to enjoying God for all of eternity. That's the church. And they had a good doctrine, a good understanding of what the church was. So when they said, be hospitable, they're saying welcome them into your home so that they can be a part of the church as they develop and have a relationship with Christ. And this is modeled by Christ. Christ was hospitable to all. In fact, to be hospitable is not just to care for those who are close to you or to care for your friends. No, that's important, but to be hospitable means to care for those that society have decided not to care for those that's not easy to care for. We see that in Scripture when society wouldn't care for that group of people, Jesus did. Jesus welcomed in the drunks. Jesus welcomed in the lepers. Jesus welcomed in the prostitutes, those who were outcasts in society. Jesus loved those people no matter what. He was hospitable to them. He welcomed them into the fold. And we should do the exact same thing. And I think while we may not be looking around and seeing lepers or prostitutes, there are definitely people, including maybe those, but there are definitely people in our society that are considered outcasts, people who we don't maybe normally go and try and seek out and develop a relationship with. But if we're going to take this passage of Scripture seriously, and I think we should because it's in the Bible, then we've got to be hospitable to even those. And in fact, to be hospitable means to have an action, to be intentional, to go and do those things. So not only should we welcome those people into our church family, but we should seek them out. We should go and look for them because the reality is they are poor and needy, not just physically, but they're poor and needy in spirit. They don't know Christ the way that we know him. They don't have the hope that we have. They don't have the purpose that we have, and they don't have the promises that we have. So to be hospitable means we have got to go to those people and share that with them. It is greatly and vastly important. And because the reality is, just as Peter calls the church to be hospitable to the world, just as Christ was hospitable to those who were outcasts in society, the reality is he was hospitable to you and to me. We did not deserve salvation. We did not deserve his sacrifice, yet he was hospitable in that while we were hard to love, he chose to love us. He chose to make a way for us to go to the Father. And so we need to do the same as the church. So our author gives us a couple of questions that we can look at. The first one, in your own words, how would you define hospitality? And I would encourage you not to define hospitality by the world standards, but to define hospitality by the standard that's set here in Scripture, the standard that's set by Peter, the standard that's set by Paul as he talks about loving all people, both Jew, Gentile, free, slave, male, female, the standard that's set by Christ. Define hospitality in your own words by those standards. And then our second question, How will you commit to showing hospitality to someone who needs to feel welcomed? I hope that when you work that out, whether you write that down or you say it out loud, and you say how you will commit to showing hospitality, I hope that those won't be empty words. To talk about it is cheap, right? Talk is cheap. I hope that when you say you're going to commit to show hospitality to someone who needs to feel welcome, to people around you in our society, to people who are poor in spirit and needy in spirit, I hope that you'll actually do that, that you'll actually truly make that commitment. So, church family, I know that this is a challenging kind of Devo, as it kind of challenges us to go outside of our comfort zone, outside of our box or our own little world, and to love on people who are very different from us. But I hope that you'll do it. And as you are, I want you to know that we love you and we're praying for you.